do heart Canada.
You do heart Canada? Oh, good. Awesome. We have got Rob and Kyle from Matchbox 20 on iHeartRadio Canada. I am so honored to meet you guys. I've been a fan for so long, and we are so excited that you are at Boots and Hearts this year.
Oh, you guys are so nice.
We're so happy to be here.
What was your first reaction when you guys got the ask to be a part of Boots and Hearts this year?
Surprise?
Yeah, and it feels right, you know?
Yeah, it does
I mean,
feel right.
I feel like there's a lot of what we do that does kind of reside in the country world,
For
you
sure.
know? And I think there's a lot the country that you obviously brought into your songwriting, and that it somehow exists in the way we approach record making.
Yeah, I think, a lot of, for songwriting in general, it's a lot about storytelling. And so I think a lot of things that we've always done have been telling stories about how people interact with each other, how people treat each other, and how that makes people behave. And I think there's a lot of that in country music as well.
For sure. You guys have some of the most storytelling songs out there, I feel like. So have you spent time, like when you guys were making records in the past, did you ever make the trip to Nashville and write there at times?
I just happen to live in Nashville, so
Yeah, okay.
I spent
So
a lot of
you
time.
made the trip and then never left.
Never
Never left.
How long have you been there now?
Because we made our second record there. 20 years. Yeah,
Oh,
20 years.
wow.
We made Mad Season there, and that was before I lived there. So I don't even think it was later on when I realized the amount of songwriters that it dawned on me one day that like people write songs for other people.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Sure.
coming up in a band with a singer that writes songs and what I understood rock music to be and the way people compose songs, it never dawned on me that was happening.
Yeah.
So Nashville was, it was a novelty at first, but then I really fell in love with the idea that there's so many people to connect with.
For sure.
Yeah, and there was a big change. I mean, Nashville always, like I grew up with like old country. So it was like Willie and Waylon and Merle Haggard and
Oh,
Conway
yeah.
Twitty and all that stuff and Tanya Tucker. And so like growing up, that's what Nashville was. It was Song Row. It was, it was
Tanya?
16th Avenue.
Yeah.
It was, you know what I mean? Like it was that was the whole vibe. And so then it was later on. Then all of a sudden, more rock bands started to move in, and then it became country, but it became this hybrid of just songwriters and musicians, and it became a collective. You were like,
Tanya
you were in
is a
Nashville or
rock
not.
star,
She is.
by the way.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I've heard stories that we can't talk about now, but
She's like George Jones level of
like way more rock and roll than we've
She
ever.
rode a horse on stage at the Grand Ole Opry, like making
Oh,
history.
did she
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Of
She was
course
like,
she
I'm going to
did.
do whatever I want, you guys.
love
Yeah,
that.
That's so
is
good.
very her. Have you guys, I feel like the country music world right now, and especially like just seeing Boots and Hearts has done this a bit. They had Nickelback here last year. It seems like it's such a collaborative industry right now. Have you guys ever thought about doing a crossover country collab? I feel like it might happen this weekend just from who you see.
Yeah,
Yes,
it
it
might
could.
happen. I've been over like being really nice to Thomas Rhett. So let's find out. See
You're
what
like,
happens.
if you
There
need
might be
anybody
some
on the next
texting
record,
involved.
I was like, your shirt looks a little wrinkled. Can I iron that for you?
And also maybe we could put a song out together.
Oh, by the way, speaking of ironing, I got this song about working things out. Come here.
That's amazing. I mean, he did mention that he said he was just like blown away at the thought that he was going to be on stage after you guys.
That's the nicest thing in the world of him to say. I mean, he's obviously a giant star, well-deserved. Such a good songwriter, great performer, good writer.
Yeah.
When I went over and was talking to him now, and just for him to say, that he grew up with us. He was at he went to the show with
I know
us
his
and
father.
Sugar Ray.
Okay.
Yeah.
He went to the
Cool.
Sugar Ray
Right.
show, and he said he bought like the orange Matchbox shirt. He was like in the front, like, just screaming
Did
it
you
out.
just say it was the first song he ever learned on guitar?
Yeah, it
Did
was
you
3
say-
a.m.
Right, exactly. No, I know his father. I've written songs with his father.
Cool.
Who's a legend
He is
in
a
Nashville,
legend, for
actually.
sure. Definitely.
Is
Lots
his
of
real-
number
is his real
ones.
name Rhett?
Rhett
His name
Akins.
is Rhett. Yes, that's right.
Yep. So you guys get the ask here at Boots and Hearts this year. I feel like that's a pretty cool, like a bucket list moment in your career, which is so cool that you guys are still getting to check these moments off. Is there something that Matchbox 20 has not yet checked off that you guys still want to have happen?
Well, we haven't announced our new country album that's going to be out.
Exclusively here on iHeartRadio.
We still have world domination on the list.
We haven't recorded that yet.
That's amazing.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's less about. I think your milestones become more and more just about being able to still be able to communicate music in a meaningful way with people over a long period of time, and the fact that you continue to do that, and you start to do it for us over 30 years now, doing it to different generations.
Yeah.
Like seeing fans that like now are bringing the children of their children to these shows and
Yeah.
watching them come, and like knowing these songs. It's that's a pretty special reward, and it's something you never even think about. When you think about at the beginning, you think about what success might mean. You don't really think about a career and longevity and what you're going to be when you're a couple of old guys still up there playing music, and people are still listening.
I think festivals are great too because the spirit of it is you buy the ticket and you might be coming to see a particular artist, but you kind of do come in the spirit of seeing everybody
and learning something new.
Yeah, learning something new. So I think for us, it's interesting for us to play for this audience, because I think we want to win people over. So I think there's going to be a part of us. It's like the people that came from Thomas Rhett, like we want them to leave and
be like, we like that too. I think we for us historically, especially since when I started doing solo, we would tour, and then everything kind of breaks down, and then I go solo, and then we get back together and we tour.
Right.
So I think just the fact that while we were touring our last record and we were out on our last tour, we were like, listen, in between, let's we haven't done festivals in a while. Let's start doing festivals again. Like, that was a lot of fun, and it is like,
by the way,
this vibe is everything.
I'm glad you guys decided to do that.
If you and Thomas wanted to start a project, like, his name has already sorted it out.
Oh, Thomas Rhett,
yeah.
Rob Thomas?
Yeah, like if you guys wanted to do a little situation.
I could totally see it.
He wouldn't have to change his name, is what I'm saying. You guys could just continue on.
I was
together.
heavy pushing him, for me and him,
Rob Akins.
duet, me and him, Endless Love. And he was like, no. And I was like, what are you talking about? Come on, Endless Love, it's a classic. And he was like, no.
I think you should just run out during his set and tell the band to just spark it up and see what happens.
Just a little
he
bit.
Can't say no.
Baby, hit me one more time. That
song is a jam. Yeah. That song is a jam.
I got to talk about Barbie, the movie.
Oh.
We have to talk about it because I was in the movie theater with my friend, and I'm like already loving the movie, but then Ryan Gosling starts playing PUSH, and I'm like, okay, this just became my favorite.
He's a beautiful
movie.
man.
All right.
He is a beautiful man, Canadian man.
Good voice too.
What did you think about his rendition of PUSH? I thought it
was great. Like, we knew it was coming, because to sign off on the movie, it was like a one sheet that says they want to use this song and this is how they want to use it. So I knew it was going to happen. So all I knew was like Greta Gerwig, Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, and I was just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
I'm in.
Yeah, he could wipe himself with my picture after he does it, and I would still want to see
One
it.
of my takeaways, and I thought about you, and I saw it, was like, that had to be kind of a unique experience, because the first time you saw someone on the big screen like that,
sure,
like taking properties of your personality,
right?
You know what I mean? Like that,
and not all my favorite ones either.
Shit. Yeah, right, exactly.
Everybody, for some reason, when they come back to meet, when they do meet and meet,
you're like a drunk pirate. Was that what it is?
It's either like Scott Stapp singing Smooth or singing 3 a.m. Right? They're like, or it's like the creepiest guy in the world, and they're doing Smooth. They come up to me and they're like, man, it's a hot one. I'm like, no, it's not. Stop.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I mean, he got to perform it like on the award show and like really bring it home. Right?
Well, I think that was a really nice thing to be able to be a part of that. Yeah. What was funny for us is we were in the middle of promoting a new record. We were out on tour, but the writer's strike was happening, and we weren't allowed to talk about it.
Right?
So every time we do interviews, that's all they wanted to talk about, and we wanted to talk about it, but we weren't allowed to.
But we could repost like Barb 179. You know what I mean? Like someone else's Instagram account. We could like repost that, but then not say anything about it.
Well, I'm glad we get to talk about it now and celebrate it, and also celebrate the fact that Ryan. Maybe we need to have you guys do like an official performance of it together.
I'm with that.
Right? Yeah.
Slash got the gig at the Emmys there.
You guys make an appearance?
I feel the reason why they haven't called me up there is I think that they feel like the chemistry and the heat that comes off of me and Ryan together in the same place, it's going to be too much. It's going to be too much.
It could melt faces, literally.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm
toxic.
so excited.
I can barely take this right now.
I can't wait for the Ryan Gosling Matchbox 20 collab. You guys singing
From
Endless Love with Thomas Rhett on stage. Maybe a little Britney. And make sure you guys go check out Matchbox 20, Where the Light Goes, new album. And welcome to Boots and Hearts, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.